Good morning, folks. Ann here. Welcome to my channel. It feels good to get out here. It's 8 o'clock in the morning and they've mentioned showers today. So I wanted to get this over with early. Today is I'm on a rail trail that used to be a railroad, and it goes through several different towns, and they converted it over to a walking path. People walk their dogs, go bike riding, but a nice gazebo there. So today I want to talk about how low carb has become my lifeline. And some of this is going to go back in time to part of my story, and it'll be great for the new subscribers that are here. Thank you so much for joining. But as all of you, I suffered with weight off and on through many, many years. And each time I failed on the diet, it seemed like I was getting fatter and fatter. Now, I used to like to do my jogging, and there were times that I did very well, but the older I got, the more weight that I gained and the harder it was to get out there, and that's when I started getting all of these different health issues going on. You know, I had the back problem. I fell off a chair, and I blame it on that chair, how cheap it was. But if I wasn't fat, let's be real, if I wasn't fat, I probably wouldn't have fallen off that chair. Oh, I smell something foul around here. Woo! But, so I hurt my back. Once my back went, you know, the walking, you know, anything, it just got less and less. No, it's hard to do anything when you're in pain. That's why I could relate to so many of you, because I know how it feels. It's hard to do anything, to even want to do anything when you're struggling and you're in pain. So I tried everything to get my back, find out what was going on, and the only thing that after having all the tests and the therapy and a chiropractor, the only thing that they could offer me is to give me a shot in my back. They couldn't fix my pelvis that was tilted. It just felt like nobody was helping me. And being a person that liked to eat, that was the worst thing to have happened to me, because that meant I was going to be home quite more often, and I wasn't going to be getting out. And we all know that being home, the only real sense of enjoyment that I had was eating. So after that, I got diagnosed with diabetes. And it wasn't real bad, it wasn't real high at the beginning. And I remember, I moved down to Villages for a little while. And I'll tell that after. But I had the diabetes. You know, and I insisted that I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to do it without the meds. And I had it worked out with my doctor. I told you that if I don't do it by myself, then I'll get on any meds that she wanted me to get on. And for you, those people that have heard this, I'm sorry. But so I did bring it down from 7.9 to 6.4. It took about a year on my own. And then I don't know what I thought. I wasn't thinking. I just started eating again. carbs, stuffing them in. And so that was a problem. Rashes, losing my hair, skin rashes, diverticulitis flare-ups that would last for 3 weeks. Everything was just getting progressively worse. And I was getting more depressed and staying home all the time. I could remember actually telling my family. Now, I don't know if I was trying to convince them or myself, but I was telling them, I love to be home. I don't want to really go out. My home is my happy place. And I said that so many times because I think that was the way, I had to accept it and I had to be happy about it. I was convincing myself that all I wanted to do was stay home. It was awful when I wouldn't go out. I was ordering food from Walmart. I was struggling with everything I did, using the bathroom, cleaning the house. So it was a bad time. And that was just before I got on this diet in March 22nd. I have somebody coming. This is all private, folks. This is just between you and me. Good morning. We gotta watch who hears this. Oh my God. But so, and the more that I thought there, being miserable, while I sat there, the more I thought, I was getting older. I want my independence. I don't want this to happen to me. I want to be strong. I want to be able to take care of myself. But I remember going to see a new doctor. And I think it was down in Florida at the Villages. Well, I know I went to see her, and she had a chart of all my illnesses, and my appointment was for 2 o'clock. And a day or two before the appointment, I got a call from the clinic, and they said they wanted me to come in at about 1:30. I didn't think nothing of it. Okay, that's fine. I'll be there. And I get there. I get a little early to fill out the paperwork. And I go in to see the doctor. And she said, "Oh, I'm sorry." She said, "The reason I wanted you to come in early was because there's so much to go over with you." She said, "You have a lot of problems." And I was grateful that she, was going to give me some extra time. But, folks, in my head, I didn't think like that. I didn't put all those problems together. It was like a rude awakening. Oh my God, I got a thick file of illnesses. That was a bad time to hear that. But she took her time and went over it all with me. My diabetes, all of it. And then I remember before I walked out, she said, "Ann, if you don't correct this weight problem, you're going to be in a wheelchair." And good morning. That was a terrible thing to hear. And I always remembered it. I remember that clearly. And that's when I started this in March. All of these things I'm saying is what got me motivated. Now, it didn't get me motivated after she said that, because I think it was right around COVID and we were all locked down. And I'm not blaming it on that, but that's the point in time that this happened. And The food was my friend. I didn't know people down there. I had some cousins, but we weren't able to see each other. My uncle was still alive. So, folks, independence as you're getting older. Folks that are younger than us seniors, prepare for it. Don't waste time. Get ready for it, because what they say about it being harder is so true. It is hard when you get older. You're fighting the metabolic battle, and then you have the weight compounding it and the medical issues that you have. I know a lot of us know this. It's not as easy to bounce back. It's harder. And independence for me is so important. I don't want to be in a wheelchair or a nursing home. None of us do. And I'm tired of wasting time. You know, I want to enjoy my life. You folks that are still able to do it. Now, I know there's a lot of people with mobility problems that can't do it. But people that can still get out there, push yourself to do it, folks. Don't wait. Time goes by so fast. The things that we could have been doing when we were laid up in our homes. I wish I would have done a lot more things. But I'm hoping, I have hope now that I still can. I'm pushing 68. I mean, all ages still can do it. All ages can change their life around by getting healthy. Like I said, you don't even want to do anything if you're not healthy. You know, the spirit goes. Your spirit goes. You know, that food even numbed me so much. Here we go. I cry when I'm tired. But, that I wasn't even able to be very spiritual. When I used to be healthy, I was more spiritual, but I went through a phase there that my spirituality diminished. You know, I was numb. I wasn't able to feel things. Only thing I could feel is that food in my mouth. Life is wasting away. And we all have access to a new life, free of charge. One foot in front of the other. Put down the carb. Don't wait for tomorrow. Do it now. Tomorrow might not never come, folks. Tomorrow may never come. You know? And I gotta tell you, folks, I don't want to be a statistic. I don't want to be just another person added to the list. You know, another person died from diabetes or heart disease or cancer. I don't want to be added to that list. Now, what'll happen? You know, they're going to put on my tombstone. They'll put on my tombstone, she liked that Chinese food, or she liked that pizza. Because that really would define me. That would be an accurate thing to put on my tombstone. Because that was something I did with a passion. Eat the wrong foods. And I really feel like this is my last chance. I really feel very strongly about that. Because if I go back this time, I don't see myself coming out of it. When I had my last diverticulitis flare up in December was right around Christmas. I didn't even go out of the house. I stayed home. And I didn't go to my sister's for the dinner. But when I finally got rid of it, almost 3 weeks, I gotta go back. There was a big difference in my mobility because I'd been sitting in that chair for 3 weeks. And I'm telling you folks, I struggled to come back out of that. I might have been close to the point of no return. You know, I had to push myself to come out of that. That was another reason I got serious with this diet. Because I knew I never had an illness where I didn't bounce back to some degree, you know. But that last flare up in those 3 weeks, morning, those 3 weeks at home damn near did me in. All I could say, folks, if you still got it in you, don't waste another day. Start today. Start reducing those carbs one at a time. You could do it. If I could do it, you could do it. People that are at home and can't do anything, maybe you could even lift your legs and try to keep the strength in your legs or your upper body with weights. I heard recently, and it was another thing that frightened me, I heard recently that the first thing, I think it was Dr. Eckberg on YouTube was saying it, that once you lose mobility in your legs, you know, it's all downhill from there. And that is horrifying. He said that a good majority of people, once they lose that mobility, the mobility in their entire body goes down because they're not moving. The brain quiets down and slows down. And he said a lot of people end up dying within that first year. That's how important it is for us to keep moving. I could believe that. I mean, it's their health, they're not moving, and then their mental state. I don't know, folks. Hi again. I think we need to start breaking the cycle of that yo-yo dieting. We need to finally come to terms. We need to be honest with ourselves. And we need to lay the fork down, honestly. It's not worth it. Just for a few minutes of enjoying when we're eating that garbage. And then it wants us to eat more. It's a sucker bet. I don't think that's a curse word, but it might be. If it is, I'm sorry. But folks, it's a sucker bet. The food. It's all a gimmick. Keep us buying it, keep us sick. Make the money off health bills. It's a gimmick. And they're using us as the guinea pigs. It needs to be, you need to stop that cycle. We do, not you, we, all of us. Stop that vicious cycle. And decide, this is it. We're going to do it. We're not going to, we can. Our life depends on it. And if you're still young and you got years to go, it'll be the best decision you ever made in your life. To finally get a hold of it. It can't be a temporary fix anymore. It has to be a new way of life. We shouldn't even be calling it a diet. It's a new way of life. And it's not that we can't eat carbs, it's that we don't eat carbs. Because we care enough about ourselves. And we're the only one that can do it. There's no magic pill that's going to do it for us. We're going to end up being another statistic. That's the way it goes, just like that. It's real. It's not, you think, oh no, that's not never going to happen to me. Oh, that startled me. A frog or something is over there. But folks, I hope that you all do it. And I know a lot of you are having a lot of success. And I appreciate those comments because hopefully others are reading them and they're seeing that this works. It is sustainable. Whether you end up as a low carb, a keto, a ketovore, a carnivore, the lion diet, there is no right or wrong. It's what works for you. What's going to be sustainable? What's going to keep you from getting sick? A lot of people do fine on low carb. I don't want that because of my diabetes. You got to do what's right for you and what your medical issues tell you to do. What time is it? We got to stop making the excuses. We got to stop saying, okay, next Monday, I'm famous for that line. Next Monday, I'm going to start. People would laugh at me at work because every week they knew they were going to hear that. I thought they were laughing, with me because I would laugh too. If I had a dime for every time I said that. We don't have to wait till Monday. Monday's gone. We don't have to wait for tomorrow either because, like I said, tomorrow might never come. Today's the day. And if you haven't had your carb yet, start today. If you have a carb, maybe you might better wait for tomorrow because it's easier. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. So much.
I got my protection, folks. I'm ready. God forbid if that ever happens. For me and for him or her. But folks, I hope we gotta realize that cutting the carbs is not a punishment. What it is a rescue. You're rescuing yourself. You're the first responder. You're rescuing yourself from a life of unhappiness and struggles and possible death. You're rescuing yourself from that. We all are. Don't wait another minute. Get the food that you need in the fridge and go slow. I am such a big believer of going slow. Don't do it all at once. I know we could all do it, and we could do it one day at a time. We don't have to take it all on at once. And God knows there's so many people out there that are helpful. All of you have helped me. And for each of you that don't have a channel, everybody else that is on this in this community would help you. You know, we're all in this together. I'm blessed. I feel so blessed because of you. Life can be so joyous. You know, you could start getting out of the house, going to see people that you haven't seen in a long time, putting a smile on your face, putting some pep in your step. You know, gradually, those things will start to happen. They're starting to happen for me. You know, I didn't have this. I'm telling you, I didn't have it. I was accepting it. Let's not accept it anymore, folks. Let's change it. And let's change it today. Folks, thank you so much for watching, for subscribing, for liking my channel. You're making such a big difference. I'm getting subscribers. The algorithm is taking it out there to the world. I am amazed by it all. I'll see you tomorrow, folks. Have a great day. I love you. Bye.